Pisces, welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. Pisces, you have the dead end and the vessel, the cave, and the nectar. Well, I mean, the dead end is just kind of the idea of like, no matter how hard you try to push through something, you still can't, you can't get through, you know, it's like, and the harder you try to get through, the more stuck you get. And I feel like you're just kind of like, I feel like it's that struggle of trying to fix something. And it's like, when you try to fix it, you get stuck. And so I feel like the idea here is like, step out of the vessel, walk around the problem. And I just feel like switching transportation. I don't know. And then the nectar and the cave, because in order to get to where it is that you're trying to go, you know, like, so I don't know what, like if you're in some wild forest jungle and you run into, you know, like some big pit that you can't take the car in because it'll get flooded from the water or stuck in the mud, or you know what I mean? And it's like, the more you try to drive through it, the more your car gets stuck and you don't have any way to get it out. Get out of the car and start walking. You know what I mean? Find another way. And I feel like you get out of the car, you start walking, and you discover something that is just like, it draws you in and it feeds your soul. Okay. Pisces. Let's see what else we can get for y'all. Hope everyone's doing well, having a lovely day. Pisces. Five of Wands, Santa Muerta, the moon, the sun, the lovers. Yeah, it does. It's like, okay, well, you can't keep spinning your wheels in the mud, you know, like, get out, try and discover another path. And when you do, you find that there's something there that just brings you back to life. It revitalizes all of the lost hope that you had when you felt like you were stuck. You know what I mean? Like when you're spinning your tires in the mud and you just want to cry because what are you going to do? How are you going to escape this? And it's like, just get out of the car, walk around. You know what I mean? Trust that, it's like an obstacle, not an end, right? You just have to get creative with it. However that plays out for you. Okay. You know, it could be that there's a relationship that is being revitalized. You have the lovers twice. And Santa Muerta. So for some of my Pisces, it could be very easily that it's like somebody from your past who, I don't know, I mean, it's happened to a lot of us at any given point in time where you feel like you met the right person at the wrong time. You know what I mean? But I don't actually believe that, like in real life. I don't know, because I think that sometimes you meet the right people at the right time, but it's not the relationship that's meant for you. You know, like everything about them was right because there were a lot of things that you needed to learn from that person. And, you know, like, practice gratitude for that opportunity, but allow for that to go, like, allow for yourself to let that go. Because I feel like maybe it's not a past person, maybe it's a new person. I don't know. I think it'll depend on my Pisces, because I think for some of you, you know, it's an idea of how a relationship has to occur, you know, and it's like, that's not going to work, especially when you're dealing with Pisces. You're so fluid. you know? It's hard to lock a Pisces into any one particular way of doing anything. And that's a part of the beauty of being a Pisces. And instead of feeling locked into something, you can, you know, again, get out of the car, walk around and find what's meant for you. I think that whether you're healing a relationship or you're moving into a new relationship, that part I don't know, but it does feel like a relationship. It's a relationship that is bringing a lot of joy. I think creating a level of, because you can, like, I think that it's important to be able to see your way through things and to experience a lot of joy, but it's equally as important to feel as though when you need to rely on your intuition, people allow for you to rely on your intuition, right? I think that this is something that all of my water signs face, especially if they're dealing with people who don't have a lot of water in their chart. They don't understand naturally. They're not in tune with the idea of when it's time to follow your intuition, you know. And I feel like there's an idea here of just like something that really feeds you and brings you back to life, because it honors the complexity of who you are, and it enables you to really rise up into a love that allows for intimacy, that allows for exploration. We also have the fairy stallion and the shadow dance. The shadow dance is the devil in traditional tarot, but like in this deck, it's just really this idea of envy and temptation. And I just kind of feel like you were wishing, and it could be that you're on the other side of the story. I don't know, take how it resonates, but it's just kind of this idea of like I want a relationship and I want to be loved like that. And I want this and I want that. And so I'm going to try and make it happen. I'm going to try and force this relationship to occur. I'm going to try and, you know, like, what, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I was talking to this girl the other day. She cracked me up. She was like, well, when I was trying to, she had all these Neil Gaiman books. And I was like, oh my God, you know, like Neil Gaiman is love. And I was like, you know, have you read all of these? And she was like, well, when my boyfriend and I first started talking, you know, he really loves Neil Gaiman. So I asked him if he would give me some of his books from his collection so I could read it too, so we could have like something to talk about together. But I got the feeling she didn't super enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, because I think sometimes, you know, there's just a very big difference in, you know, people's reading preferences, you know, like people who enjoy fiction and fantasy and, you know what I mean, sci-fi, don't usually enjoy, you know, what, I can't even think of an example right now. That's how little I read these things. You know, news articles, or, you know, like I'm going to do research on all of the semantics and the, you know, and the science behind it. Anything nonfiction, I guess. But, you know, I just kind of get that idea of like, I'm going to try and push through. I'm going to try and create something. But it's like, but if you aren't really into it, if it's not really your vibe, if that's not really your style, and you found that you were trying to, you know, push something in a direction that like, ultimately that's not real. You wanted you wanted a relationship that made you feel. What you wanted was like that feeling and that sense of security and intimacy in a relationship, but you didn't have it naturally with somebody you were trying to create it. And it's like, if you would stop trying to like manufacture the relationship that you want, you'll find that you will come into the relationship that you actually desire. That actually, I think just like, I just get this feeling of being carried away, which is funny because that was in my Cancer read too. Like this idea of just like being swept up, swept away, you know, with something or someone, But it's like, first, you got to get out of that car and you got to walk around. However that plays out for you as an individual. Pisces. The Hermit, the Moon, and the Queen of Wands. Yeah, again, it's just this needing to pull away, you know, to like, I think just understand who are you and what is it that you want? Because if it's a relationship and you're coveting other people's relationships, like you can't covet what is somebody else's, because you are not the other person in that equation. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, so you need to honor the equation of you. And I feel like you're honoring the equation of you finally, and encountering someone who is able to like naturally align with you, and take you into all the things that you were coveting from somebody else, trying to manufacture elsewhere. But you can't force relationships. I don't know. Like it's always the question, is it better to be the person who breaks up with someone or the person who's broken up with? You know what I mean? Personally, I hate breaking up with people. You know what I mean? Because you're just like I remember I dated this guy one time, and he, you know, just wanted to argue with me that it's not about who you're in a relationship with. It's about whether or not you're committed to a relationship. And it's like, that's the most fucked up thing I've ever heard in my life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like you. And, you know, like, I had fun hanging out with you for a little bit. And the more I got to know you, the more I realized I don't actually really like you as a person. And so I don't want to do this anymore. And you can't turn it around on me and say that it's because I don't know how to be in a relationship. No, it's just that I don't want to be in a relationship with you. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's just this idea of trying to force someone to be in a relationship that they didn't want to be in. And it's like, stop trying to force things. And align with who you are, trust your intuition, trust in your fluidity, and discover that once you finally stop trying to force something, what is meant to be will naturally occur. And I love that. And you have the Lovers twice. And I just feel like that's great. Okay, Pisces. Let's do another card for y'all, and we'll call it a read. The Storm. The Thread and the Sustainer. Yes, again, it's just this idea of, you know, I mean, I think of the Storm as like, okay, you're spinning your tires, you're stuck in the mud, you just want to cry, you know, like, why can I not get out of this? And it's like this, like, as soon as you get out, and I always think of the red string on your finger, and I don't know where I stand on the whole soulmates thing. Honestly, Pisces, I feel like we have so many soulmates when we come into this life, and they show themselves as our family, our friends, and our lovers. But I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out here, since you have the Lovers here twice, that there is somebody who you are actually very much connected to. And it's like, if you would stop trying to force connections elsewhere, you will find that you are able to very easily intuit your way into the relationship that you were wanting to try and create with other people. You don't have to try and create that elsewhere. What is meant for you is yours. And it's something that I think you will find is easy to sustain, because you're not just trying to sustain something because it's what a relationship is. It sustains itself. It's like a self-sustaining ecosystem. And I love that. That's great. Because you shouldn't constantly be fighting your way through life. You shouldn't constantly be fighting with people who you're in relationships with. That's not healthy. You shouldn't feel like you have to change who you are to get somebody else to like you. That's not healthy. And I think that you're just really, you're starting to understand that, you know, and you're starting to align more naturally. And I love it. All right, Pisces, I hope this resonates with y'all. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe if this video resonates, and I will see y'all again soon. Bye.